Okay, so what I have here is the very front of a Johnson Evinrude VRO pump. You can kind of see, and I'll get a little bit better pointer so you don't have to look at my finger. These voids between this plastic and this rubber, you can kind of see this is a soft rubbery resin of some sort, and there's these little voids that go all the way around the edges. What I'm finding right now on my motor is a whole bunch of two-stroke oil all over the inside of the cowling, and I'm fairly certain that this is where it's coming from. When I was taking apart some other parts of the motor for service, I noticed a fair amount of two-stroke oil leaking from pretty much all the way around the outside of this. And my attempt at this point is to try to stop that from happening. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up some DevCon 5-minute epoxy, and I'm going to pour it very gently over this part. I have the part sitting in a vise, so it's sitting fairly level, or as level as I can get it, so that the epoxy itself will stay as much inside of this as possible. So I'm going to kind of pour it over the top of the unit here, in hopes that it kind of just seals all of that up. I'm avoiding right now epoxying something actually to this, like another piece of plastic over the top to just fully seal up the leak, because on the back of this is actually an oil pump, so this actually pumps the oil in from my reservoir tank. So my thinking is this is flexible to allow the inner parts of the pump to move back and forth. I don't know. I've also tried a couple of other things. I've tried to find this part on the internet. It doesn't seem to exist independent of the overall unit. So at this point, given the fact that there's a fair amount of two-stroke oil leaking from here that should be going into my engine, I'm either staring at a replacement of the entire unit, which is quite pricey, or an attempt to try to fix this for about $3. So I'm going to give that a shot, see how it works. So I'm going to mix up some epoxy, and we'll pick up the video right after, or right before I pour it over the top.